Welcome. We are here at Kreate Hub in the Bronx. We will present to you a live art competition. You will have 3 amazing artists who will create wonderful things right before your eyes. As they compete and complete their artwork, the audience will determine who's going to be the winner.
Feeling really excited to be here amongst all talented artists, in this beautiful house of art. I'm painting a subway scene.
Just drawing a girl that's wearing headphones and listening to music and just being outside in the city. I'm just excited to see what will come from the competition and what will come out of my piece, because I'm just going with the flow with it.
Don't know what I'm gonna end up with, but it should be something fun. The concept is kind of like a young, vibrant person just having fun and enjoying themselves.
You get to see new artists in every new venue that we have. You get to know them, you get to see what they're all about, you get to see their art techniques and expression. And I'm so happy to also collaborate with the BronxNet TV for being an amazing support for my vision here to make this a possibility.
My name is Shanae Melvin. I go by Gothical Angel on the internet, and I reside from Bronx, New York. I've always been interested in being an artist since I was very young, at the age of 10. Always loved to draw, always loved to create. I never had an issue creating. I just love drawing. Even my teachers knew that in elementary school. There's one of my teachers who I unfortunately don't remember his name. He gave me an art book when I was much younger, a how to draw book. He gave me that because he knew how important it was to me. What inspired me to be an artist? Pretty much the medium I consumed ever since I was younger. I always liked watching anime and cartoons and playing video games. Always things that always impacted me as a person and an artist, because I knew I wanted to create things like I had seen on the TV or seen in the video game. And that's what always fueled me to want to be able to draw and create art. Apart from comic books as well, that I always had liked along the way. In turn, what made me become an artist is because of those very same things, because I knew that, oh, hey, I like to draw this character, or hey, I like how this character is designed. I want to make my own characters, own stories, so that I started to begin doing that over the years in high school and started working on my own concepts and characters, and just started continuously honing on my craft and drawing and continuously drawing, which has led me to self-publish my own art books and work on my own comics and stories and publish it online, as well as sharing it on social media and even on streaming it on sites like Twitch or even YouTube and doing things like that. This is very wonderful to me to have this love for this passion and creativity. Being here in Kreate Hub is very wonderful as well, because growing up, I didn't see places like Kreate Hub or many other sites that are very art focused. I never knew things like this existed here in the Bronx, because growing up, all the events I would see that's art related or more pop culture focused would be in Manhattan, or maybe in Brooklyn, or maybe another borough. And it does make me feel that the Bronx does have something art related, because again, we have places like this. We have the Bronx Art Organization. When I attended one of their events a couple of weeks ago, but never so much here. And I'm just glad to be here and to participate in this event, because I always knew I wanted to participate in an art challenge before, as I've seen from another company that does something similar across America, but I never got into that. But once I saw about this, I just said, why not try to see if I can enter and get into this? It would be fun to do, because I knew I wanted to do something like this, as I saw before how fun it was, and I knew I wanted to take a part into that. So I'm glad I was able to get in and be able to have fun. Even if I don't win or make it to the next round, I'm just glad I was able to participate and be able to express something creativity and a fun and wonderful challenge. I do feel that there can be more extracurricular activities, because I am aware always when I see on the news or even online that it's always the arts that get affected by economical status and issues. So I do believe more of that can be attained, just because it would be nice to have all those benefits for the newer children today who didn't, like us, who probably didn't get all that same experience. Like things like now, as I mentioned, that I didn't see places like these growing up, or other events in the Bronx that are very art focused. Whatever arts that I did do was from schools, and was pretty much just from teachers teaching however they need to be, but I never had kind of a place like this or another event similar, or organizations like the Bronx arts that are heavy art focused that are more driven to that. I do believe that is important to have just because some children are probably invested into the arts but don't have a way of being able to get in or have access to it. And it's very important for them to do so to allow them to have other outlets to express their feelings or emotions or wherever they may be. Art is a good way to channel that. Pretty much just keep drawing, just keep going. That's what I always do. Regardless of how times are rough and things like that, I just always kept pushing and keep going to strive for my dreams and to not give up. I'm told that I'm very stubborn, which is true because I want to be able to achieve my dreams. I want to be able to achieve the goals that I set out for myself. Regardless of what anyone says or what anyone tells me, I just keep to myself and I just stay believing in my own self. Because I have to trust myself first and foremost before anyone else. I have to be able to count on myself when there's no one else there. Because you're not going to always have support around you to be able to want to do something that's creativity or anything that's creative in it, because you know how people are when it comes to wanting to pursue these kind of like areas or interests, that you get brought down or shot down with these insights, and it's always just heartbreaking because they don't understand the passion you have into it or like the heart or mindset that goes into being a creative. Just if you're either a dancer or even if you play music or anything like that, they don't understand like the life and the structure that goes into it and the heart and soul that you have when you do these things. It fills you with joy, it makes you excited, it makes you happy, it makes you want to continue and pursue it more to make it to a life of living and to a life of being able to sustain and support yourself doing something that you enjoy.
Hi, my name is Sean. I'm from the Bronx. I'm in the Williamsburg area, North Bronx. You know how it is. Yeah, I go by U-Blank. I've been doing art for a while. I'm here to enjoy this competition. I like seeing stuff like this. I remember my first thought was drawing. Like my first conscious thing that I remember was me doodling something. I always wanted to be an artist. I was very committed to it. But you know that journey of life, how it is. Ups, downs, lefts, rights. You take breaks, you stop doing what you love, and then you rediscover it, and then you stop doing it again because you don't feel you're there, and now you're back here again. So I guess I'm arriving where I need to be at right now. I mostly do illustration, so I do many comic book style, but also recently what got me back into art was graffiti. I incorporate a bit of that style into my artwork and things I do. But I'm just versatile in anything I'm given to. Like I just like having fun. If you give me any kind of format or medium to play with, I'll enjoy myself. I like the vibrancy of that. I'm really a big fan of people like Joe Madureira. He's a comic book artist from the 90s. He did a lot of cool stuff. There's a few more, some Japanese animation style too. Guys like that help create shows like Ninja Scroll, stuff like that influenced me. Modern day cartoons, Stan Lee, Steve Ditko. I could go on with names and names, but they help embrace my style. And then also like Larry Stroman, also he's a black comic book illustrator. He had that flavor of like urban comic books that a lot of people saw in the 90s when you were reading a lot of like books from Malibu and also Milestone and a few others. I saw it and I was like, that's it. I'm just commit, do that thing, have fun. I think there's two fields of healthy competition and sometimes things that you need to challenge yourself with, but also like I know it's a competition, but it's not really competing. It's just more you exploring and finding yourself, The only person you competed with is yourself. Like you hope that you're better than you were yesterday. That's it. There's a lot of great artists out there, but a lot of people wouldn't know. And then the other thing too is like there's so many different fields and practices, and some people don't like to touch this field and other people don't want to touch that field. Like if you go to Pole Park, right? You know why its name is like Pole Park is, right? You know where that's at? Okay, all right, cool. So Pole Park is really well known because it is where Batman and Spider-Man and all these different spheres got created at. Most of the Bronx, like Stan Lee, Bronx. Most of those guys that created all these comic book heroes that you see on the screen today came from the Bronx. They're Jewish, they sat down in the park, and they made characters. So you have a lot of rich history here, but the problem is that a lot of people don't know it. And then when you start to know, you're like, oh, I didn't know that. So, see? I work with an organization right now called Tokyo Bronx, and we are looking to do stuff like that right now in the school. We're helping build after-school programs. Like last year during COVID, I did an illustration course to help people understand comic book designs and layouts. And and then it got turned into something bigger, and now it's an after-school program. And we are trying to help in our ways. It's just again the same thing with the information and discovery of the artist. It is very limited as well. So like people, like when you hear people say, oh, I didn't know that was there, it's because you didn't look or you didn't know, or I don't know. But I think like a lot of people, the information is out there, is just seeking it, Start, whatever you plan on doing, just start. Like stop talking about it, stop being about it, stop like telling your friends, just do it yourself and get started and be willing to fail. like you're gonna mess up a lot. And then after you start, you start to figure out why you're failing, and maybe failure might lead you into a place that you are better comfortable at. Sometimes you try to fit in with what you think people want you to be instead of what you're supposed to be. Just become who you're supposed to become.
My name is Charlie Ello. I'm from the Bronx, born and raised New Yorker, also known as Ello Burns, Charlie Ello Liriano. I've been an artist pretty much for as long as I can remember, since I was a kid. My godbrother sort of took me under his wing and sort of mentored me. And after that, I went to LaGuardia High School, where I met a bunch of my art friends that I have to this day, including Martha Alicia. I like Impressionism because I like to paint like loosely, but I'm pretty open to different styles. I'm from the Bronx and I'm a painter, and I think that it would be a really fun thing to do in my hometown. You know, I love this building because it's just like a house of art, and I love everything about this movement. So I wanted to be part of it. We need more art. Not just visual art, but like all art. All art, music and drama and dance. We need more art. Years ago, right, that was one of the first things that they cut out of our funding was art. Art and cultural awareness has suffered, right? Because people need outlets. Kids need a creative and artistic outlet. It's just part of like a balanced education. I think that there should be more art-based programming. I am inspired by a lot of artists, a lot of my peers, but one artist that, you know, pops up is an American artist called Edward Hopper. Edward Hopper's been a big influence on me. But I am inspired by actually Alex Reynoso. He's a good friend of mine. I'm inspired by Michelangelo and Claude Monet. I mentioned Impressionism before. I cannot mention him. But a bunch, like I said, I'm like open to different, you know, disciplines, different styles. Just mix it up. I would say that if you are an artist, just keep doing your art no matter what, no matter the circumstance. Keep pushing that creative expression. And if you're a viewer, I encourage you to seek out the art that resonates with you and support that art, that movement, that artist.
My name's Ana Matos. I'm the gallery director here at Wallworks, New York, and I'm born and raised in the Bronx. I've always grown up around art. My father is an artist. I think the Bronx is so rich in all types of art, visual, music, performing artists, everything happens here. But what I think is really important for the Bronx is to stay super connected to each other and network with one another because we're strong in numbers. I think art education is super important at any age. It's an outlet for children who aren't well-versed expressing themselves in any other way. Art education is super important and it should stay in the schools, absolutely. And at our gallery, we always have students stop by from different schools, children of all ages. We get from 5th graders up until graduate students who still come to the gallery to learn about art, to experience art.
I am here to announce the winner of today's live art competition. It is anonymous. Charlie Ello.
Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for everyone supporting, because this is an extraordinary feeling to be able to be present and share.